If I could go back in time, I would do many, many things differently. I made a lot of mistakes growing up, and I'll be honest, I do have a lot of regrets. I think anybody can say they have a lot of regrets from when they grew up, or regrets in their 20s or 30s or whatever, like however old they are, maybe even when they were just kids. Like, everybody has regrets, and I definitely have some. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasted a lot of time, like, just thinking about it, like all the video games, all the movies, all the like just bullshit, just doing bullshit. I wasted so much fucking time, especially in my teens, from like 15 to 17, especially. Um, I did make a lot of memories, I'll be honest, I did. But most of it was pretty pointless, and if I had just done what I'm about to go into, I would have had more fun anyways, and I would have been better off. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I do have regrets. I wasted a lot of time. But if I could go back and just change one thing, it would have been my mission. Now, well, I didn't actually have a mission at the time, so I would have had to I would have had to figure out what that actually was. And your mission in life is so important to you as a man. It is the guiding principle of a man's life. It allows you to fulfill your purpose, which then allows you to achieve happiness. I read this book one time called How to Build the Life You Want, and in that book, it basically says, like, what does everybody want in life? Happiness. If anybody could have anything in life, it would be happiness. And people try and define what that is for them, but really, and this guy broke it down in this book, he says, there's three main principles that contribute to happiness. The first one is satisfaction, the second one is enjoyment, and the third one is purpose. If you have all three of those things in your life and contribute to them daily, you will live a happy life. And so, figuring out what your mission is, what your purpose is from a young age, and contributing to that throughout your life will give you happiness. And when I was younger, I just used to fuck around, do bullshit, scroll. Like, I didn't even know what a mission was. I didn't know what a purpose was. I didn't know like what the definition of happiness was. I didn't know what my definition was. I didn't know anything. I was just doing bullshit because that's what dumb kids do. That's what most kids do. That's what I did. And I had a lot of fun, but it was so pointless, and it was just such a waste of time. And if I had just if I had just figured out what, it sounds weird to say because I could just never imagine myself doing this when I was that age, but if I just sat down and figured out deeply what I actually wanted in life and just contributed to that, I would have been more happier and I would have had more fun. Because when you actually figure out what your mission is, especially as a man, and you just work towards it every single day, you start to enjoy each day even more anyways. And so, if I could go back to 15, 16, 17, I would go back, I would sit down, and I would deeply think about what I actually wanted to achieve in life, what I deeply wanted. If I could achieve anything within myself or have an impact on the world, what would I have wanted it to be? And it might have been different at that age to what it is now, but to what my purpose is now. But again, I think they would have just aligned. So yeah, if I could go back, I would sit down at that desk and I would deeply think about what it is I actually want to achieve in life, what impact I want to leave on the world, what achievements I want, what kind of man I want to become. And then I would just work towards that every single day. And if you're currently watching this as a young man, 15, 16, 17, 18, even 19, in fact, whatever age you are, If you're watching this and you still don't know what your mission is, what your purpose is, you feel lost, right? Just remember, once you figure this out, you will be so much happier and you will be on a much greater path to whatever you are now. The sad part about modern men and modern masculinity is that most men don't actually have a purpose. They don't have a mission. Actually, no, they do have it. They just haven't figured out what it is yet. They just haven't realized it. They just haven't wrote it down because they've never thought about it. Most men just follow whatever the masses do. They just copy what everyone else does because they think it's normal and they think it's okay. And you can't be mad at anybody for that because it's just the way the world works. It's the way we've been brainwashed. We haven't been brought up to think for ourselves. We've been brought up to think for somebody else. Somebody else that's supposedly above us. Whether that be like a CEO or someone who just owns a company that you work for, or like university lecturers, teachers, parents, whoever. We've been brought up to think, not with our own mind, but with somebody else's mind, with somebody else's conditioning that they've been brought up with. And so we've been brought up with the same things. And it's sad because it means most men will never fulfill their purpose in life, and most men will just be depressed. They won't achieve happiness. And that is incredibly sad. So what is the way you actually find your purpose? Well, I can't actually tell anybody watching what their purpose is. You have to go and figure that out for yourselves. But the way you do that is by asking yourself these deeper questions. And what I used to do was I used to write it all down. And I used to just sit and think, like, is what I'm doing, does it really matter to me? Like, do I really give a fuck? Do I actually care? Like, do I care about what I'm doing right now, whatever it is? If the answer is no, it's purposeless. It means I deeply just don't care. And I would ask myself, what do I deeply care about? What do I deeply want to achieve? What do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to leave? What kind of man do I want to become? If I could do anything in life, what would I do? If I could be anybody, who would I be? Let's think, like, if I could be any famous person, who would I be? Oh, I'd be that person. But why? Why would I want to be that person? Because it aligns to my inner values. You know what I mean? Like, when you start thinking that way, and then you can start uncovering the kind of purpose you want, the kind of mission you want. And mission is so important as a man. I keep saying as a man because it's just it's just what I read about in this masculine book. But honestly, anybody and everybody needs a purpose. Everybody needs a mission. It's in that book. It's the way you achieve happiness. And it makes sense because once you work towards something each and every day that you deeply care about and you know is bettering you as a person, like, how can that not make you feel better? How can that not make you happier? What is better than that, than fulfilling your own desires and your own mission in life? And so to the people watching, if you figure this out now and just work towards it, in a few years' time, you will be ahead of a lot of people. In fact, you will be ahead of most people in life, because most people, like I said, they just follow what the norm is. They just follow what the masses do. They just do what they're told. They don't think for themselves. But when you start thinking for yourself and you start working towards what you actually want, not what somebody else wants, what you want for yourself, when you start doing that, you will be better than everybody, I promise you. So when I was younger, I was very misled, and I did realize when I was about 18 that I had to change, and I didn't want to follow whatever the norm was, and I didn't want to do the normal thing. I wanted to think for myself. I wanted to follow my purpose and mission. But in my head at the time, I was just a kid, and all I could think about was, okay, I just want to be rich. Like that's all I kept thinking about. And so like I would watch like videos of influencers on Instagram, YouTube, of them and their businesses and like how to get rich and their like paid programs on like trading or like drop shipping or like some e-commerce business or whatever, and I'd look at them and they'd be making hundreds of thousands a month, and it wasn't even from their business, it was from fucking selling the course. But I would think it was from like whatever they were doing, their trading or the drop shipping or whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, like that's what I want to do. I want to do that. And so for such a long time, I was trying to start like this random online business that I found, right? I was trying to start that, and I just kept trying to work towards it every single day, and it just wasn't it. Like it just wasn't working. Like I couldn't really see real progress, and I just couldn't be asked for it. And in my head, I was thinking like, oh damn, like I'm undisciplined, I'm lazy, and I probably was. But as I started to actually get into it more, and I actually started putting in effort and working towards it, and making a bit of progress, I started to realize like I started to think like, do I actually want to fucking do this? Like, is this actually what I want? Chasing some random purposeless business that has no meaning to me. Like, yeah, I could make money from it, but is that all that matters at the end of the day? Like, I the way I saw it was I wasn't getting anything out of it apart from potentially earning a lot of money. And when I started thinking that way, I started thinking like, no, like this isn't worth it. Like, do I want to be doing this in 20 years' time? Like, it just wasn't worth it. And there will be so many more young men or young women who do the same thing I did and see these people online making a ton of money, or see these other people like telling you, yeah, you should do this is the best business model, or whatever, just whatever bullshit is being posted online. There will be so many people that are influenced by it and think that that is what they should pursue. No, I wasted so much time trying to chase this just business. Like, it was just such a fucking waste of time for me, because at the end it led to nothing. In the end, I realised that it didn't align to my values, my purpose, my mission, and I had to figure that out for myself. I had to figure out like what actually is it that I want to do, what actually is it I want to achieve. And so I can't really complain about about chasing that business, because in the end it made me actually realise what I want to do in life. But I'm telling you guys this now so that you don't make the same mistake I did. If you figure out what your mission is right now and you start working towards that every day, you will become so much better. You will live such a happier life. You will become masculine, because most men don't think for themselves. Most men don't do what they actually want to do. Most men delay their dreams. They say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. Oh, no, I was thinking about it. I'll start it next week. Oh, yeah, I wrote down my goals, but I want to do it next month. No. That is not how a man should live. You watching right now, figure out your purpose, figure out your mission, work towards it every fucking day, and you will be the best man you could possibly be, I promise you. Because as soon as I started thinking for myself, as soon as I did that, my life took a turn for the best. As soon as I started thinking for myself, As soon as I started writing down what I deeply wanted, what I wanted to achieve, what I wanted to become, writing down these affirmations, writing down my goals, writing down my ideas, writing down who I wanted to become. As soon as I started doing that, my life took a turn. And I just wish I started it sooner. Like, I just wish I started it when I was 15, 16, 17. Because I would be, like, even further than I am now. Like, I would have more wisdom, more knowledge. I'd be more secure in myself. I'd probably be more disciplined. Purpose is key. Figure that out. Work towards it. And don't stop. The way the masculine man lives is by aligning his mission to his work, working on his purpose every day. And you should do the same. Stay disciplined.